Hello, I'm Michelle and welcome back to Somewhere in Bookland. This is the third video I'm filming tonight, and so it is the third video in my new favorite Panic at the Disco sweater. Yes, that is correct. So today I'm going to be doing my end of the year TBR. These are all the books I would like to read before this year is over. This is a very ambitious TBR. I am slightly crazy. So I should just get into it. So first and foremost, the first book I would like to read before the end of the year is The Wicked King by Holly Black. I have had this book for a while now and I have not picked it up because I am so nervous. I loved The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. It was an amazing book and I have yet to pick this one up. I am scared I'm going to be disappointed. I've heard that people have said that they've read it and they really enjoyed it and it was just so good. But like, what if I don't enjoy it? What if I am disappointed by this book? I don't want to be disappointed by this book. I don't want that. I just want to love it and hug it and love it. That's all I want. Now, if you haven't read A Cruel Prince, it's about this girl who gets kidnapped from her parents, her human parents, and gets raised in the land with fairies. Fairies! And there's this prince who is cruel to her and she just wants to fit in. And it's amazing, and I did not describe it well at all, but you should read it. It is so good. I read it in one night. So good. I really need to read this one. The next book I need to read before this year is over is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chachki. I won this book on GOODREADS and it comes out in January and I really need to read it and write my review on it. I started this book and got 74 pages into it. I started it for a readathon. I put it down, have not picked it up since. It is set in Paris and I think it's like a heist story, if I'm not mistaken, which I very much might be. But if I am mistaken, that means I didn't understand this book really at all. But I'm pretty sure it's set in Paris. Pretty sure it's set in Paris. The next book I would like to read before the end of the year is Garrison Girl by Rachel Aaron. This is an Attack on Titan novel. Well, a novel set in the land of Attack on Titan. And it just seems very interesting. It seems like a quick read. I got this from Cork Books. I would like to read it. Yes. I've noticed that I didn't say it yet, but I don't really plan on going into much detail of what these books are about, more so why they are on my end of the year TBR, why I really want to finish them before this year is over, and possibly how long they've been on my TBR, but I might not go into super detail about them because there's maybe 20 books that I want to try and get through before the end of the year. And the fact that I've only read about 70 books so far, not sure how well this is gonna turn out. So the next book on my end of the year TBR is The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. I've had this book on my TBR since I was in middle school, so that is a long time now and I really just want to get done with it. And I plan on reading this book this month, but I've planned on reading this book almost once a year from middle school to high school and that never happened, so we'll see if it happens now. But the reason I had originally put this book on my TBR was because I saw the movie The Mists of Avalon and well, I don't remember the movie. I remember being captivated and enthralled by the movie and wanting to read the book that it was based on once I realized it was a book. Have not done it yet. Really would like to get it done before the end of this year just so I can check one off the list. Another book I would really like to get to before the end of the year, but honestly don't know if it's gonna happen because it is huge, is the Alexander Hamilton Dust. The Alexander Hamilton biography by Ron Chernow, which is the one that Lin-Manuel Miranda based his musical on was reading this biography, and I've had it because of that and would really like to read it because it's just gonna, I feel like it'd be interesting and I just want to read it, but will I? Who knows. The next book I would really like to get to is The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Capetta. I've been hearing so much about this book recently and it just seems so good and I would really just want to get to it. It's not that thick, it'd be a quick read. Hopefully I can get to it in November. I know there's that fall into fantasy readathon going on and they're doing like a readathon, I think, for this book, so I might read it during that. I might not, but I might read it during that. That's kind of what the goal is. We shall see. The next book I want to read before the end of the year is an Enchantment of Ravens because it's thin, it's a standalone fantasy, I should get it read. I've heard mixed things about it and I really just want to know for myself. The next book I would like to read before the end of the year is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I've read a good chunk of this for the Triad chapter, for, I think it was a booktubeathon. Didn't finish it because this was not the book I ended up choosing. I did finish the book I ended up choosing, but this was not the book I ended up choosing. It's a really quick read. It's not that small of words. It's a really quick read. I really just need to get it read, get it done with. Love the movie. Really need to read the book already. It's beautiful. I bought it because I loved the movie, but I really just need to read this book. I just need to do it. Then I have Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. I really need to read this book. Pretty sure you have to read this book before you read Witchwood. I really want to read Witchwood, which means I really need to read this book. Maybe you don't have to, which would be nice to know, but I really just need to read this book. I just need to do it already. Another book that I just need to read already, and I would like to do it by the end of the year, is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I originally tried reading this book in high school, and I got a good chunk of the way through, but I could not get through it. I then saw the Keira Knightley movie with my friend, and oh my gosh, I love that movie so much. It is one of my favorite movies. I love the soundtrack. I love everything about that movie. So I decided to pick it up again. Started reading it, could not get into it. Picked up Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, read that. Watched the movie multiple times, many years go by. Think that it would be easier to read the book since I've seen the movie so many times. Still couldn't get into it. I just need to read it already. I love this movie. I already know everything that happens for the most part. The basic things. I don't understand why I can't get into this book. Don't look at me that way. Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Need to read this. Haven't read it. Have wanted to read it so bad that I have 3 different versions of this book. Ebook, physical book, audiobook. So I have my choice. Need I say more? Just needs to be read. Would like to do it by the end of the year. Would feel like an accomplishment. Apparently I'm only 12 pages in. So, there's that. The next book that I would really like to get to by the end of the year is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I am so far behind in this series. I just got Kingdom of Ash and I still have to read this book. I just need to read it so I can read Tower of Dawn, so I can read Kingdom of Ash, and then I'll be done with the series. That's all I need to do. I need to read this book so I can read that book, so I can read that book, and it'll be done. 1, 2, 3, done. This is step 1 in my long journey. And I just need to take it already. Here's a book I would like to read just because it seems like a really quick read and I don't need to really read it like word for word. I would just like to go through and read the stuff that has to do with me because I find astrology like fascinating. Don't necessarily believe in it, but I do find it interesting and I just want to see what it says about me. That's all I want to know. I'm a Pisces and I just want to see if it says that's a good thing or a bad thing because some places are like, oh, you go girl, you go Pisces, and other places are like, oh, you're so nervous and shy, and I'm just like, stop hating on me. Gosh. Another book I would like to read before the end of the year is Lies You Never Told Me by Jennifer Donaldson. I just need to finish this. I'm not even that far into it. I started reading it and I kept trying too hard to figure out what was going on because I have no idea what's going on. And I was trying so hard to like figure out this plot, and I just needed to stop reading it, set it down for like apparently a while, because I set it down for a while, but I just needed to stop, take a break from it. I could not get into it at that time, and hopefully I can get into it now. Let me put it back in my sleeve. The next book I just need to read for the end of the year is The Darkest Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout, because it just came out and I need to read it, and I love the other books in the series, and I don't think this is a direct continuation of it, but more of like a spin-off, but I just need to read it, and it's a gorgeous cover. And I took a picture of this book from my Bookstagram that I am in love with, but I don't want to post until I've read this book, so I need to read this book so I can post my picture. Yeah. And another book I just need to finish already is this book, The Dinner List by Rebecca Surly. I'm about halfway through. It's kind of boring so far. Need to finish it and see if it stays boring or if it picks up. Now, the last book I would like to read before this year is over is Rise of the Superheroes by David W. Tosh, just because it seems really interesting. It also seems like a really quick read. There's a lot of pictures of like superhero comics and just like some interesting tidbits, and it doesn't seem like it'd be a very hard, long read, and so I just want to read it and fall even more in love with superheroes. So those are the 17 books I would like to read before the end of the year, and I hope I can read them all, and I hope I can hold them all for a picture for the thumbnail, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, click the thumbs up if you like this video, click subscribe if you want to see more of this face in your feed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye! Wish me luck on reading these books because I'm really gonna need it, considering I only read 3 books last month. Yay! That was a close one. Didn't drop the books.